All right. Next up, we have Bluerithm, which will be presented by their president and founder, Andrew Martin. Bluerithm is a flexible and customizable commissioning software built for complex projects. It goes beyond checklists to support technical workflows with AI tools, automated templates, and scalable features designed to match your team's unique approach. So now I'll turn it over to Andrew to tell you all about it.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to come and listen to us all talk about what we do. I'm excited to just take a couple minutes and talk about our company, Bluerithm, our platform, and what you could expect to see from it if you were to decide to try it out. So it says my screen share is going, so I'll jump into things and tackle the next couple slides here. So as you guys are probably finding out and already aware, there are a lot of platforms on the market for test and balance and commissioning and related work. So why is that, and why do we need all of these? And the answer is that not everybody has the exact same needs or preferences. So you might try out a couple different platforms, find that maybe you like the way the interaction works on one, but you can't quite fit your process into it or your workflows or how you want to use it. And you try another one and it does certain things well and not other things well. So, one way to kind of frame this, and there are of course lots of dimensions to this discussion, but um, to help understand kind of where Bluerithm lands in the market is to think about a spectrum of software tools where one end is where they're very what we would call prescriptive or opinionated, meaning they do certain things in a certain way and they might do them very well, which is a good thing. But if you need to go outside of those certain swim lanes, then you start running into challenges and problems, and maybe the tool doesn't adapt to the way you want it to work. And on the other end is a very flexible sort of framework approach to the software, um, meaning it could be anything from like custom software that people have built in-house, Microsoft Access tools, some very big elaborate system with SharePoint and Excel files and things like that. So with some of those, you can do whatever you want, but there are no guardrails whatsoever. Um, and sometimes that's a problem, and sometimes not. So again, everybody's scenario is a little bit different. There's pros and cons. Um, where Bluerithm fits on this spectrum is kind of about 2/3 of the way towards the flexible end. So it's of course a tool designed specifically for test and balance and commissioning and quality assurance workflows. Very technical process. Um, but it's very flexible and it can be treated as a bit of a framework where you can build your templates and kind of mold it around the way that you want to work and the way you want to run your projects. So everybody's scenario is different. You have to try these things out, understand where you're at, where you want to go to decide what's best for you. Um, and for Bluerithm, one of the really unique things about it is, excuse me, that it does not just test and balance or not just commissioning, but it does both. And if you even want to run those scopes of work in the same project, you can do that right alongside each other. So you can have whole template libraries for test and balance, a whole template library for commissioning, and even different verticals and project types within those categories. And then you can map all the templates that you need from either template library into a single project and just run all of that stuff side by side. So if you're a firm that does commissioning and test and balance, there's a lot of value in being able to do that. Where, you know, for um, for a pump, for example, you've got all of your test and balance forms, and attached to that exact same pump, you have your commissioning forms. So that can be really valuable in certain situations. And again, that just gets to the heart of the point here that it's a very flexible platform, really designed to kind of mold around these different needs. So lots of good dashboard tools, lots of filtering, especially when you get in bigger projects, you can really slice and dice the project up into different phases, different areas, different systems. Really, however you need to look at the project and think about things, it's very adaptable to those needs. Just an example of here of the different types of activities built in the project. We got some commissioning forms, we've got some tab forms, just running side by side. And the platform isn't just for forms either. It's for just general project management stuff and design phase stuff. So if you have some kind of a design review process that you need to work through, you can set that up and then track that and perform that in the software. And same for meeting minutes and really anything that you would typically be doing, tracking, performing on a project, you can build all of that into the software to be able to track it. So here's just a couple examples of some forms, just some simple screenshots. Obviously, test form, a different kind of live view of a test form here. Here's one that's running some different formulas. Another cool thing about the platform is that you can update the formulas and the forms whenever you want to, either at the template level or just on the fly if you need to make some changes. So the way it works is really any formula that you can do in Excel, you can embed in a Bluerithm form, and it will just execute it live. Uh, Whether you're using the web version, which is what these screenshots are from, or if you're using the app. So we have an app that works online or offline. Same thing, same capabilities exist on either the web or the app version. Just some more examples here. Another cool thing that we've been working on now for a little while. We actually released the first version of this in 2024, maybe even late 2023. Um, we have AI tools that will actually write test procedures. So you can see a demo of this on our website. Just right on the main page. If you scroll down, I don't know, a third of the way or so, you'll see um, this Bluerithm AI tools demo video. And it works where you can take a sequence of operation. So this would be geared a little bit more towards the commissioning side of things. But you can take that sequence of operation, paste it into the tool, um, give it some context about the project and the equipment, which is then saved with that for the next time, and then it will actually create a draft of the test form, and this works for like individual sections of a form, or you can even copy and paste like a whole 5-page sequence of operation right into the tool, and it'll split it out by its modes of operation and write the test procedures specific to that mode of operation. So, with the different revisions we made to it, it's become pretty powerful. And we have customers that are starting to use this as their um, kind of default first pass through the project versus doing that process manually, taking it from the sequence, manually typing it into a form. And then you can just drop that right into your project. So it's really kind of a slick way that it works. Um, Jumping ahead a little bit, thinking about the kind of the process and what it would look like if you actually started with us. We have a very hands-on onboarding process where we can work with you and get all of your forms, your whole template library set up, um, and really just give you the keys to an operating system where you guys are ready to deploy it on projects in 1 to 3 weeks, um, with all of your own, custom forms and workflows and process and everything. So that's something that, again, we've kind of just refined over time and understanding what works best for our customers with our software and how to get them up and running as quickly as possible with very little guesswork. There's a really powerful PDF report building tool with a lot of automation built in. So, depending on how deep you go with your template setup, which is easy to do, you could be anywhere from 90 to 100% complete with your reports, just from the nature of copying the template report into the project. And then you can have everything else set up and ready to just click export. This works for commissioning reports. It works for test and balance reports. It works for progress or issue reports or whatever you're creating. You can create a template uh, re report template for it. There we go. And just click export when it's ready to go. So you can see there's a lot of automation you can do where you don't even have to, type the project name in or the report name or the dates or who sent it. It does all of that stuff automatically. Um, the Bluerithm platform in general is very connected into the construction ecosystem. So we have a lot of integrations. Um, if you guys are already on our mailing list, you may have got an email today that talks about our version 2 API. Um, to some people, that's not relevant or something you're concerned with. To others that understand the value of having access to the data kind of at the source, it's really powerful. And as time goes on and AI advancements continue, it becomes more and more relevant. But being connected into the construction ecosystem is really valuable when your customers start, demanding that, if you want to work on this project, you have to use a tool that connects in with our other tools so that we don't have all this duplication and stuff. So those scenarios definitely exist. We have customers that are on those projects, and it drives a lot of what we do here and what we've been building. But it's really valuable when the time comes that you have the platform that has that capability. This is just a slide mentioning the new app that we released last year. So, if you tried Bluerithm back in 2020 or something and the mobile app experience wasn't quite, what you hoped for, we've addressed that by starting with a ground up rebuild of it, just with, newer technology and just a new approach. And it's a extremely resilient, offline capable, um, really good mobile solution. And it works on phones as well. So it actually reorients and um, works really well on a very small smartphone screen as well. So we're might have a couple extra minutes for questions here, but I kind of got through my slides a little bit quicker. There's definitely a lot more to talk about. If you have questions about how it works for test and balance or how it works for commissioning or how it works for both together, definitely reach out to us and I'd be happy to talk to any of you guys and run you through what we do, how we do it, why we do it, and see if it's a good fit.
All right, thank you so much, Andrew. Like you said, we've got a few minutes for Q&A. And if you want to take a second to talk about the giveaway that Bluerithm is offering today, we'll get people started for entering that.
Sure. So we are giving away an 11-inch, I believe it is, brand new iPad Air. So it's a high quality device that you can, of course, run Bluerithm on. You can run anything that you run on your iOS devices. So I believe the process then is to type Bluerithm into the Q&A section, and uh, that will enter you into the drawing for that device.
That is correct. And while you're at it, go ahead and type your questions in the Q&A function as well. If you've got any questions for Andrew, I'm sure he'd love to answer some more questions about Bluerithm. While we get that started, Andrew, can you talk a little bit about customizing templates within Bluerithm to fit specific project needs?
Yep. Yep. So within the software, there are tools to build custom forms. So you can build up these forms from scratch on your own. But like I was mentioning, one of the services that we offer when our customers are getting started is a full onboarding service where we set up a very either totally complete or very solid start for a template library. And a lot of times from that point, you're just taking something that's already been set up for a similar type of form and making a copy of it, which you can do in the software, and then making your customizations or adding a different formula or whatever the scenario is. So there's all the tools are there built into the software for everyone to use. So it's not just us that can create the custom forms or that you have to reach out to make a small change. you guys have all the same tools to set up custom forms that we do.
Awesome. All right, we've got a couple of questions coming in the Q&A. This one asks, does each user need a license or how is the cost structured for Bluerithm?
Um, yeah, we don't typically do user-based pricing. We base it more on two main factors, I guess. It's uh, how many projects are you running, and then what is the makeup of those projects. So, we have customers that do 2 hour long lab certification projects, and they have hundreds of them between a couple people. And then we have customers who are building power plants and mining processing facilities, and they have one project that's 5 years long and $5 billion. So we take into consideration what the scope of the projects are, really what the scope of the project portfolio is, and then we come up with a fee based on that. And then it's unlimited users typically.
Great. Next question, is there standard functional performance testing checklists available for HVAC equipment such as a DX unit?
Yeah, a lot of pre-functional checklists are there that you have access to, but you know, almost more relevantly these days, we have the AI tools to build the checklist and to build the test forms, so you can use those and as an aid to kind of develop your own if you don't have any right now. Um, but we do have a library of pre-functional checklists really centered on HVAC equipment that people can use and get access to when they have an account.
That's great. Yeah. Couple more questions. People have got some good questions for you. How could an owner leverage this to standardize a commissioning program? They say we're using a vendor pool of 9 different firms, but want to have a single platform.
Yeah. Yeah, we have these days a number of customers who are at the owner level. So school districts, property developers, universities, and they purchased Bluerithm and use that as a standard platform for managing these different scopes on their projects for that reason, just to have that consistency and have the visibility. So not only is there the consistency there with how it's implemented and tracked and stored and accessed over time, you also have visibility then into a complete data set across, not only active projects, but completed projects. You have visibility into, where problems are coming from, uh, you know, who the problems are coming from. So you can really start to understand, how things developed over time across projects, and then actually start to take proactive action to prevent those sorts of things from continuing on every project, and you're just reinventing the wheel each time.
All right. Someone asked, does the mobile app run on Android devices?
It does, yep. It runs on iOS, so iPhones, iPads. It runs on Android, tablets and phones, and it runs on Windows as well.
Excellent. And then another question, can we create/configure custom processes with custom workflow, different customers with different processes like issues, inspection, etc.?
Yep. Yep, you can. Yep, of course, want to utilize template content as much as you can. So on projects that you're doing that are very similar to other projects, you're not, again, reinventing the wheel each time. But if you have certain projects that are, that have a client that has very specific needs, and it's the first time you've encountered them, you can build out a whole set of custom workflows, custom forms, custom issues and issue types and categories and everything for them. And if it's something you expect to continue, then you can create a template of all of that stuff so you can use it again. So that's all pretty easy to do.
All right, and then we'll do one last question. Um, how does, let's see, what types of projects is Bluerithm best suited for, do you think?
Um, well, just speaking about our customer base, we have a lot of customers that do commercial commissioning services. Um, we have a lot to do the work in the industrial construction industry. So a lot of commissioning, QA, QC there, and then we have a pretty decent customer base of test and balance firms as well. And, like I said, there's definitely a sweet spot where a firm does test and balance and commissioning services together, um, where they can just have one tool, one platform for all of it, and even, run them side by side in the same project. But we also have customers that use it exclusively for test and balance as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Andrew, for your presentation today. That was very informative overview